Welcome everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. Today's video is about Escape from Tarkov, a game that I love very much so. It's a very fun game, and today we're going to be addressing the number one issue that Escape from Tarkov, in my personal opinion, has, which every game has, which is cheaters. And I have a way that the devs can take as an open letter. You can take the suggestion on board. You don't have to. It's whatever you decide to do. But it's something that they're already going to kind of take on board when Arena drops. And that is the equivalent to prime matchmaking in Counter-Strike. Now, what I mean is in CSGO, you have two versions of the game. You have the free version, and then you have CSGO Prime, which costs $15 per account. Now, it does not deter cheaters, just like trust factor does not necessarily mean you're cheating or not in CSGO, but it helps deter cheaters. It does not fully deter them, but it helps deter them. So, what do I mean by prime matchmaking? $15. You can have what's called prime matchmaking on the queues, which means you will only be matched up against players around your trust factor and around your prime matchmaking. So the other 9 players you hop into a lobby with will only be prime matchmaking lobby players. And I'm suggesting that Tarkov take this idea on board, use another idea from another game developer that is a great idea, and just take it on board and do it. And they're already kind of going to do that with arena mode. I believe it's only EOD members. I know it's EOD for sure, but I don't know if it's EOD and the middle one, like the middle version of the game. Not the lowest version, but the one that's like 80, 90 bucks, I think. Standard price. I don't know if they're included with it or not, but I know EOD is for sure. And I know that the base level, the $40, $50 version of the game is not included in that for arena mode when arena drops. They're already kind of going to do that with arena mode. But what I'm suggesting that Tarkov, the devs, Battlestate Games take on board as an idea is EOD only queues. Now, what do I mean by that? So when you go into a raid, you'll have 4 versions of the game you can play. And this will make queue times longer for EOD members, but it'll also help solve the cheating problem, possibly. And you'll always have the version to, or the option to opt out in some way, shape, or form of EOD on the queues, but you'll have two sets of options. So you'll have 4 options in total. You'll have your regular queues, which have anybody under the sun. Which is, all 3 versions of the game. They all have the same access to these servers, and you have the different times like you already do. The second set of queues, which are 2 other queues, are for EOD members only. And that can be the same times, or it could just be a single time. You could only have one time for EOD only queues. If you want to queue EOD, have the maps all offset to different times, so that way different times display for each map, maybe for EOD only queues. So that way, if, like, let's say customs is nighttime right now, but factory is daytime, or reserve is daytime, I can go to a different map if I don't want to play nighttime raids. I prefer nighttime raids a lot of the time when I'm questing, but when I'm PvPing, I prefer to play in the daytime because it's just it's easier to see. You don't have to worry about thermals as much because most people don't run thermals during the daytime as much as they do the nighttime in Tarkov. Even though thermals during the daytime are a cheat code still. But it basically would help deter the cheating problem. And what do I mean by that? Most cheaters are not spending the 120 or whatever it is on EOD. They're spending the base level of the game. So let's separate the EOD members at bare minimum. The EOD, I even think the middle tier could possibly even be in it too, but that's up to the devs to decide. And that is, you have a separate queue for them. It's where they can choose to play only against that set of players that are basically willing to invest time and money into the game, a lot of time and money, because we all play Tarkov a lot, we all enjoy the game a lot and play it a lot, but we also have thrown a lot of money into this game. And this is, something that is a very easy, kind of simple solution to the cheating problem. It doesn't stop cheaters. I mean, there's plenty of people who are closet cheating that are just going to be, still have EOD because they think they can get away with it. And then, they'll be free for 6 months and then randomly get banned and they're gone forever. Or they just get a new account of EOD and either go legit or they try the same thing. They just get another version of the cheat that is going to bypass Battle Eye or whatever Tarkov runs on. I think it runs on Battle Eye. But this is coming from somebody who doesn't play Tarkov hardcore. I love Tarkov. It's a fun game, but I play it for fun. I don't really try and get into it too hard. But that doesn't mean me as a casual hasn't seen cheaters. And it doesn't mean that they're even more annoying. I don't play labs that much because of the fact that it's a cheat fest. I would rather avoid the cheaters. I've played labs, I play labs a handful of times a wipe, and that's only when I have a bunch of key cards and I'm just like, well, I have gear that I can waste and I can just go to a map that literally is just I'm probably gonna lose, but like I have a lot of money right now saved up, so I can try and get something fucking nuts and go from there. And a lot of times you will run into a cheater. Probably, if I had to guess, probably like 30 to 50% of the time I've ran into a cheater. Me personally, not necessarily anybody else. That's not saying anybody else has, but you run into cheaters not a lot, but you don't run into them a insignificant amount, especially when you're playing labs. And so, and not only that, it takes the witch hunting aspect out of the game, in my opinion, as well, because it's it happens in CS when you're in prime matchmaking, or if you're, let's say, you're playing Faceit or VACA, because you pay for that service, or the anti cheat's just that good too, I guess. You just kind of don't witch hunt players when you die as much. Like when someone's doing some insane shit and just murks you, you don't really go witch hunting thinking that they're a cheater and try and get them banned. You just kind of leave it up to, maybe Interp killed me, desync, whatever it might be. And I'm saying that Tarkov could do the same thing. With what CS has done with Prime Matchmaking was a good idea. It was a good solution to help deter cheating, and it was accidental, to be honest. They just wanted to make the game free to play, but they also wanted to make money off the game still, so they just accidentally kind of made something that was a good idea. But Tarkov has potential to be one of the biggest games in the world. I mean, it already is. And so, why not try and save your community, your player base from cheaters? You're going to have them no matter what, but you can help deter the cheating problem. And also, I'm going to be honest right now, EOD is overpriced. If you do not play the game regularly, if you do not play the game a lot, EOD is overpriced. And why do I say that? I get access to Arena now, which before we did not. We had no access to Arena. It was just you got more stash space and a bigger secure container and more stuff at the beginning of a wipe. That's not really a good reason to buy EOD for most people. And most people don't buy EOD because it's not worth it. Really, like it's not. And now with Arena coming out, I guess it kind of is if you want to play Arena, but like it doesn't make up for the fact that like I still have a problem with cheaters in the game sometimes. And you're always going to have that. But I'm saying that there's another way to help deter the amount of cheaters that me as an EOD member would possibly have. And that is, let's just do something akin to prime matchmaking in CSGO. Let's just try and get a simple fix, like a simple temporary fix until they can get the anti cheat better. Let's do this simple small fix to try and help the cheating problem. And like I said, nothing's perfect. It's not going to stop it, but it would help. I do have another thing, and this is something that just like everybody wants, but like I know is not going to happen, mainly because of the cheating problem. But it's something you could also do for EOD members too. Revert all the flea market nerfs. in terms of like I can't buy anything and everything off Flea. I should be able to, in my opinion. And I understand, like, like it's like a kit fest at that point, and it kind of deters from lower gun skills. But you can also do something like market cap it to where like you have different tier levels on the fleet, to where like you can sell this item or buy, like, let's look at BP 762 by 39 BP. BP ammo is one of the best ammo rounds in the game, hands down. I mean, it's easier to get compared to most ones that shred through class 6 armor and do a lot of damage and have a lot of pen value. It You get it relatively early with workbench level 3, and you can craft the fuck out of it. Yeah, it takes like I think 19 hours or 16 hours or something like that. But if you're early on into a wipe and you get to that point, I mean, you can spend like a fucking 2 weeks of just crafting it, and you can have like 1,000 rounds. And you just use a different gun that you can just buy decent ammo for and just use that. And then that doesn't mean you stop crafting just because you're using the BP. No, keep crafting. Or whatever round, whatever you try to use, do that. But revert to flea market nerfs. So let's say like you think that like nobody under level 30 should have BP. Okay, the only way you can sell or buy BP on the flea market then at that point would be to be level 30. Have like a soft cap on the market. Have like a soft nerf, but still allow people to buy whatever they want off flea if need be. And you can level tier the items individually, which yes is going to take a long time, and I know the devs don't have a lot of manpower, but you have the ability to do this still. And just tier class items for level capped, but allow the flea market to be opened back up, I guess. Because the main reason, like, let's be honest, the main reason why they nerfed the flea was twofold. It was the cheaters were getting all the fucking items and they were selling it on the flea like Madhouse, making a bunch of rubles. And yeah, that's a problem. That's why I said tier the levels out, because, I mean, a lot of these cheaters don't even care about levels. It would make them have to play the game, if anything, which, if they actually did play the game correctly, they probably would get banned. And then the second thing is that a lot of people were just running around with, you got like level 15s running around with Chad guns with Chad ammo and Chad armor and Chad helmets and just bopping people that they can see because they bought the best gear that they could. And while that's like a problem, it's not at the same time. That's why I said you can like level cap certain items that you deem to be needed to be level capped. And it's not like even back then that like lower tier guns weren't getting used. If you didn't have the money to do that, you wouldn't do it. If you didn't have the money to have a Chad M4 with the best, I don't know, let's say you just want 85581 ammo or M993, or is it M933? Whichever one's the 856 ammo, I can't remember. But whatever ammo that you want, you can't afford that always. And the best armor and the best helmet and the best attachments, you can't always afford that. And so by reverting the nerfs, you allow that player to have the ability to, but they got to spend a lot of money. And they're already kind of doing this with like the key changes to where like there's no more barters for like key cards and certain keys and stuff like that, to where like you actually have to pay rubles for them now and sell them for rubles. And that's a great idea in theory, but it's just not practical. And in all honesty, like, allow us to control the market, because at the end of the day, most of Tarkov's player base is not cheaters. Therefore, we should be able to control the flea market and manipulate it how we see fit and how we need to. Because at the end of the day, that's our game part. It has nothing to do with the devs. What we choose to do on the flea market's our own business. I mean, as long as it's not exploiting the game or breaking the game, what we choose to do on the flea market, what does it matter? Open the floodgates, let the flea market back to its glory days in some way, shape, or form. Stop having these huge nerfs to big tier items for like weapons, attachments, ammo, armor, helmets. Just stop doing that and just let us have what made Tarkov good, in my opinion, which was, if you want to kid out like a Chad and you got the cash to do it, You could be level 15, you could be level 50. It doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, we're having this game we play this game to have fun. There's no competitiveness really to the game much anymore. Like right now, at least. Unless you're like a huge content creator, in which case then you get invited to like Twitch Rivals tournaments or, different smaller tournaments that have cash prizes, but that's those people. I'm not one of those people. So let's just open the floodgates of the flea again, and then also, like the original point said, let's get this, EOD only queue prime matchmaking up and running, because it would be a great fix to the game, and both of those changes could save the game. At least one or the other would definitely help the game and bring a lot of the player base back that is left. So, closing, thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. If you could drop me a follow, subscribe, like, do all that stuff, or the algorithm, comment, whatever, rate the video, whatever. My links are all on the screen right here. So twitch.tv/bonjour_GA. My Twitter's the same handle, bonjour_GA. My Instagram is bonjour_GA. And yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Whether it's Tarkov, whether it's Valorant, it still remains to be seen, or another game. Peace.